Right now, the Quant price in the 4-hourly time frame has finally had this leg to the downside that brought us into the support zone right here. And right now, as you guys can see, we are finding support and we had this little bounce to the upside. In my previous video, I also mentioned the fib retracement tool in the 4-hourly time frame. If we include this wick right here and pull up the fib retracement tool, we are supposedly we're expecting, or the Quant price should find support at the ideal 0.618 level on the fib. That's around $116 and right now we're seeing that bounce as we should have expected. And the next key support based on the fib is the 0.786 level on the fib, and that's $112. So if we drop to that level, we could also find some support right there and bounce back to the upside. But what are my thoughts right now on the traditional market? So before I get into my expectations and my thoughts in the market right now, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to consider subscribing to the channel. It only takes like 2 seconds of your time, and it really means a lot to me. Let's begin. So if you guys remembered, in my previous video, we talked about the 4-hourly time frame, and again, when the Quant price was hovering or trading around this range right here, I said there's still a chance we could dump to the downside that would bring us into the support zone. And we did. We dumped into the support zone. This green box is support, and we have had this bounce to the upside. So what am I expecting right now? So guys, you must remember that once we lose the support zone, if we dump below $113 right here, if we fail to hold it as support and dump below $113, remember that's going to be very, very dangerous for the Quant price in the 4-hourly time frame, because if we do dump below $113, that could mean that we could be testing the swing low we have made right here at $109. Yes, so a failure to hold this level as support means we could be testing the swing low right here. And if we also fail to hold that as support, we could dump to the next support right here at $103. And that basically could signify the continuation of this overall downtrend in the 4-hourly time frame. Yes, that could signify the continuation of this downtrend, which we don't like. So in order to stay bullish, we must hold this as support, which I am currently expecting. And once we do hold this level as support, let's say we have a bounce to the upside right here, then we could start drawing this trend line, or might as well start drawing this trend line. And we could use this as a reference to whenever we start dumping back to the downside, we could see this acting as support. So whenever we, like, let's say we have this bounce right here and pump back to resistance. Once we get rejected right here and we dump back to the downside, we could rely on this trend line to act as support. So when we dump back to the downside, this could act as support, and we could pump back to the upside and eventually break out of this resistance zone. So that is the potential scenario that could play out right now in the 4-hourly time frame. And remember, once we do break above this resistance zone, because right now it's acting as strong resistance, we've been rejected a couple of times right here, and we eventually dump back to the downside. So hopefully we hold that support and we move back to the resistance zone right now. The important thing we should do right now is we must importantly test resistance once again, because that's where we're going to find out if we could see higher prices for the Quant price. Because again, the key level to break right here is $135. If we do break above $135, that's going to be bullish, and I would be waiting for a retest of previous resistance, now flip to support. And then we could expect the Quant price continuing to the next resistance at $147. This is the next resistance. So right now, what am I expecting? Of course, I'm leaning towards the bullish case, which is right now we're going to be holding this level as support, because if we pull up the RSI, right now we are almost touching the oversold level right here. Because remember, this is the oversold level. And once we do touch the oversold level, that could mean that we could be having a pump to the upside. So yeah, when the Quant price starts to dump to the downside, that could bring the RSI to these oversold levels, extreme oversold levels. And once we touch that level, I'm expecting the Quant price to have a huge bounce to the upside, which could be beneficial and could signify that indeed we may be starting a new uptrend, which is again bullish for the Quant price in the 4-hourly time frame. So right now, as long as we hold this support zone, that's a condition. We must hold this. If we hold it, then I'm sticking to my bullish scenario that right now we could be expecting higher prices for the Quant price. But if we dump and if we lose this as support, then I might have to rethink my choices and my thoughts and have to switch to the bearish scenario that we could be testing the swing low right here, and we could continue the downtrend. So be aware of these two scenarios in the 4-hourly, but remember, as long as we hold support, we are on track for higher prices. If you guys want to trade Bitcoin and altcoins, then don't forget to sign up on Bybit using my affiliate link, and you guys can get up to $30,000 in bonus as well as 0 fees. And don't forget to join my Discord server where I post daily market signals and updates to my videos.